Doreen Granpeesheh is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
I want to go to a question from Pearl. Pearl wants to know what's going on inside her child's body. He can't recognize body signals, goes toilet at least at the last moment. His facial expression is always neutral, even when he is sick. He is 9 years old, but quite verbal.
Yeah. It isn't uncommon, Pearl, for our kids to not have contact with their own kind of body experiences. Whether it be, I mean, it used to be, now we're on, I don't know, the 10th version of the diagnostic criteria for autism. But I do remember that, so we are now on DSM-5. And before that, of course, was 4 revised. Then before that was 4. And before that was 3 revised. And I think it was around DSM-3 or something, where one of the symptoms actually, Shannon, was indifference towards pain or various other body types of experiences. So it's very common for our kids to not have the ability or awareness, let's put it that way. And I think to some extent you can help them identify some of those kind of more external, things that you can manipulate, like hot and cold and pain and all that. But a lot of times, not just with our kids, but with others, typically developing kids, it's very difficult for them to identify things that are a little bit more complicated. I'm afraid or I'm sad or those types of things. The lessons that usually we do in ABA are based on modeling. So they essentially have to do with Shane, can you still hear me? Because I'm getting all kinds of signs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So usually what we get in ABA, what we do is just kind of teaching the individual to look at others and to understand facial expressions that will signify sadness, happiness, pain. And hopefully that acts as a model for our child to be able to express some of their own. If you as a parent can predict or can tell when a child is starting to feel a certain way, and that's the time to help them label it. Basically, if you know that your child's feeling pain, that is when you tell the child, this is pain. This is what's called pain. Whenever you feel this, you have to say, I'm hurting, and you have to tell me where it's hurting, those types of things. And as I said, unfortunately, and that's the most important one, I think, to most parents, is our children being able to say when they're in pain. But there's so many important emotions, like I'm tired, I'm hungry. I remember, Shannon, you told me a lot of stories about when Jen used to be hungry, and he would get angry at things. Charlie was the same, my daughter, and we used to call it hangry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I love the story where you say that Jem later on would say that to you, right? I love that.
Yes, he would ABA me. He would go, I think you're tired and you're hungry, and I think we should stop and you should get something to eat before we continue, because you might say something you regret later on.
I love that.
Yes. I'll tell you what great ABA did for him. He is able to identify his states now and identify it in other people and be helpful and useful. But if you think about it, if you don't have language and you're feeling something and you don't know what it is, it can be very disconcerting. It can cause anxiety. Yeah. When someone explains to you, oh, you're feeling whatever, and you have a label for it, and then you can communicate it to people and perhaps get some help and support with it. My son didn't know what cold was, and he had confused it. So he would say, I'm cold when he was hot. Yeah. Because somehow he had mislabeled it, and it took us a while to say, what you're feeling right now is cold. This is cold. Let's step outside. That's cold. Now let's go back inside. That's warm. Now let's, go in the room where it's really hot, and that's hot. And we had to keep pairing it with the language, with the thing, and then he got it. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.